For op-amps without offset null capability, the external offset voltage compensatory network must be used. So that is shown in the diagram, that is figure 12, 13 and 14. So this is the circuit where the external offset circuitry is used. So this is the example of inverting amplifier with external offset voltage compensating network. So here you can see the external offset voltage compensating network. So this diagram shows non-inverting amplifier with external compensating network. Non-inverting amplifier, hence the input is given to the non-inverting terminal. So this is the circuit which is extended, that is external compensatory network is included here. Similarly, differential amplifier with external compensatory network is shown in this diagram. So its output voltage expressions are given here. So as we know, for non-inverting the output voltage is Vout is equal to 1 plus Rf by R1 into V. So it remains same. So that just this external circuitry is there. So then we'll move for next topic, that is AC amplifier. So that is shown in the diagram 9, that is from the figure 9 to 14. So all these circuits will also respond to the AC input as well. If the designer needs AC response characteristics of the op-amp, low and high frequency limits, or if the AC input is riding on some DC level. So all this circuits works well, but there is a DC component that get added in the circuit. So for this, in order to avoid this, we are using capacitor to block the DC component. So let us see how these circuits are just modified in order to act as a AC amplifiers. So these are the AC amplifier circuits. So first diagram shows AC inverting amplifier circuit. So as it is an inverting amplifier, we are giving input to the inverting terminal. So but there is a small modification here. We are using one capacitance here, that is a coupling capacitance C1. So similarly for non-inverting amplifier also, non-inverting terminal we are applying the input. So there is one modification. So here we are applying the coupling capacitor. Rest all it is same. So as usual, for inverting op-amp, the output voltage is minus Rf by R1 into Vin, it is same. And here the output voltage is 1 plus Rf by R1 into Vin, it is also same, it is unmodified. Only thing is here we have included the coupling capacitors just to block the DC component. So the coupling capacitor not only block the DC component, but it also sets the frequency cutoff limit. So this is given by the frequency cutoff limit, which is given by FL is equal to 1 over 2 pi Ci RIF plus R0. So where FL is low power cutoff or low end of the bandwidth, where Ci is the capacitance between two stage being coupled or DC blocking capacitor, and RIF is the AC input resistance of the second stage, and R0 is the AC output resistance of the first stage. The bandwidth of the amplifier is given as bandwidth is equal to, that is higher frequency FH minus lower frequency FL. It depends on desired value of the FL and the closed loop gain of the amplifier. So now we can calculate this coupling capacitance value Ci by using this formula, that is which is shown here. Using this formula we can calculate this coupling capacitor value Ci if we know all these value RIF, R0 and FL. So next, so this we are already discussed, that is AC inverting amplifier circuit, non-inverting amplifier circuit, which includes the coupling capacitance. Their respective output expression is given here, whereas the gain of AC inverting amplifier is minus RF by R1, whereas gain of non-inverting amplifier is 1 plus RF by R1. So next is summing, scaling and averaging amplifier. So here we discussed how op-amp is used for different operations such as summing, scaling and averaging circuits. The basic circuit used for this is shown here. So here, since it is an inverting input terminal, so we are providing input to the inverting input terminal. So here it is, we are giving it into three voltages VA, VB and VC. So here are the three resistance RA, RB and RC, and their respective currents IA, IB and IC will flow through it. And here we call it as a node voltage V2, whereas node voltage V1 is connected to ground terminal. So these are the positive and negative power supply. This is a feedback resistance RF and this is the load resistance RL. So this is a inverting configuration. This is the inverting configuration. So here, according to virtual ground concept, if one terminal of the op-amp is connected to ground, okay, so what is the voltage near the ground? That is 0. The same voltage will appear at the other terminal as well. So before that, here we can see that IA, IB and IC are entering the node 2, whereas the current leaving the node is IF and IB, right? So using this, applying this KCL at this node 2, so we can write the expression as IA plus IB plus IC is equal to what? IB plus IF. These two currents are leaving. Now since A and Ri are ideally infinity, that is gain of the op-amp is ideally infinity and high input resistance, this is also infinity. Because of it is having high input impedance, there is no current flow through the op-amp, right? So that's why IB2 is 0, right? So when we substitute for IA can be written as VA by RA, whereas IB can be written as VB by RB, whereas IC can be written as VC by RC. And similarly, IF can be written as Vout divided by RF. Vout by RF. Actually, it is potential difference VA minus V2 divided by R1. So VB minus V2 by R1, VC minus V2 by R1. But what is V2? What is voltage near node 2? That is same as voltage near node 1 because of virtual ground concept. So what happens? Voltage near node 1 is 0. So V2 is also 0. Hence neglecting this other node voltage. So IF is flowing from V2 to this node. So we can write V2 minus Vout by RF. Since V2 is 0, 0 minus Vout by RF. So it's only Vout by RF. So if we equate for Vout, so we can write Vout is equal to minus of, we'll send it RF on other side. So RF by RA into VA, RF by RB into VB, then RF by RC into VC. So keeping this as a reference, now we'll discuss what is this summing amplifier. So in the previous example, that is previous circuit, if all the resistances value RA, RB, RC are equal, let us say its value is R. So then this previous expression will become, so now RA, RB and RC all are same, which is equal to R. So now the same expression, so it is R, will take the LCM, so R will come outside. So RF is also there. So minus RF by R will come outside. So what is remaining inside the bracket? VA plus VB plus VC, right? VA plus VB plus VC. So thus the previous circuit can be used as a adder circuit or to sum the voltages, or the summing, it is also called as summing amplifier. So this means that output voltage is equal to the negative, which means that output is equal to negative sum of all the input times the gain of the circuit, RF by R. Hence the circuit is called the summing amplifier. When the gain of the circuit RF by R is equal to 1, that is RA is equal to RB is equal to RC is equal to RF. So this now RF is also equal to R, then what happens? Minus of VA plus VB plus VC. So this is also another form. So next comes the scaling or weighing amplifier. If all these resistances are not equal, then the original expression is rewritten here, that is V out is equal to minus RF by RA into VA minus RF by RB into VB minus RF by RC into VC. We are adding all the voltages in different proportion, so it is called as a scaling or a weighing amplifier, right? So weighted differently at the output, so hence the name scaling or a weighted amplifier. So where RF by RA is not equal to RF by RB, which is not equal to RF by RC. So summing amplifier is over, scaling or weighted amplifier is over. So now the third one is average circuit. So whatever the circuit we studied, that can be used as an averaging circuit, in which the output voltage is equal to the average of all the input voltage. So what is that? Output voltage is equal to the average of all the input voltage. So that means, so it is accomplished by using all the input voltage value equal to same. It is RA equal to RB equal to RC is equal to same. So what happens if there are three inputs? So if all are same, right? So RF by R can be written as 1 over N, where N is number of the input, right? So V out can be written as VA plus VB plus VC divided by 3. So what should be the condition for averaging? RF by R value must be equal to 1 over N, where N must be equal to the number of inputs. Here how many inputs are there? VA, VB, VC. So there are 3 inputs. So therefore RF by R value must be equal to 1 over 3. So which you can see here. So this is what, like this, by setting this value we can use the same circuit as averaging circuit. So next discussion is, our next discussion is about non-inverting configuration. So this is the non-inverting configuration, that is we are applying input to the non-inverting terminal or a positive terminal of an op-amp. So this is the circuit diagram. So here we are applying different voltages VA, VB, VC, right? So here we are drawing the output V out. So V out is given by, that is gain of the non-inverting op-amp, that is 1 plus RF by R1 into, so these 3 voltages VA plus VB plus VC divided by 3. Let us see how we are obtaining this expression. So here RIF value is given, RIF is equal to RA into AR1 divided by R1 plus R2, R1 plus RF into this voltage. So this circuit is called as non-inverting configuration. So here using the superposition theorem, in order to find the output voltage V out, we are using the superposition theorem. So what superposition theorem says? We have to take the response when the individual sources is acting alone. So first let us consider VB and VC are not acting, that is this terminal B terminal and C terminal are connected to ground. Now only the voltage applied to the circuit is only VA. Then we'll measure the output, which we call it as a V out 1. So therefore we'll get that as, so using a superposition theorem at V1 of the non-inverting terminal, so we can get V1 as this expression, that is R2 divided by R plus R2 into VA, then R2 divided by R plus R2 into VB, then R by 2, that's R by 2 divided by R plus R by 2 into Vc. Since these two are connected in parallel, its equivalent resistance is taken. So, and the expression is written here, right? So, or we can say that if we simplify, V1 is taken as Va by 3. So, if we solve this, multiply numerator and denominator by 2, what it will be? R divided by 2R plus R. Then again RR cancels. So, what is remaining? Only 3. So, we will write V1 is equal to Va by 3 plus Vb by 3 plus V3 by Vc by 3. So, which is equal to Va plus Vb plus Vc divided by 3. Hence, V out of the output voltage can be written as 1 plus Rf by R1 into V1. So, where V1 can be written as Va plus Vb plus Vc whole divided by 3. So, this is what the output voltage when the particular voltage source is acting alone. V1 source is acting alone. So, let us see how we got this V out. So, we will go back to the circuit. So, what is V out? So, where we are applying this node voltage, right? Okay, so that is given as 1 plus Rf by R1 into this node voltage, right? So that is given as V1, that is Va plus Vp plus Vc divided by 3. So next is, so the next is averaging amplifier. So this equation says that output is equal to average of the inputs into gain. So here the gain is 1 plus Rf by R1, that is gain of the non-inverting op-amp. So if we modify this expression, if gain of this non-inverting op-amp is equal to 1, then the output voltage is nothing but the average of the amplifier. So that is the technique used to design the averaging amplifier. Here we make that one, that is gain is equal to 1. So the difference between averaging amplifier in inverting and here the non-inverting is that there we are getting the average into negative, that is the inverted sign, but here we are not getting that inverted sign. No sign change or a phase reversal occur in the case of averaging of non-inverting op-amp. So whereas the non-inverting op-amp voltage V1 is the average of all the inputs, whereas in the inverting op-amp average of all inputs with negative sign. So next one is summing amplifier, right? So in summing amplifier, if in this equation V out is equal to 1 plus Rf by R1 into Va plus Vb plus Vc by 3, so it reveals that 1 plus Rf by R1, if it is equal to the denominator, that is the number of the inputs, then we can say that V out is equal to just Va plus Vp plus Vc, which is nothing but sum of the input voltages. So what is the condition to get the sum of the input voltages? This gain should be equal to the number of inputs. So here we have taken the example of 3 input non-inverting summing amplifier. So because of it, the equation will be Va plus Vb plus Vc by 3. So it means that 1 plus Rf by R1, this value, if it is 3, then numerator 3 denominator 3 cancels and V out is given as Va plus Vb plus Vc, that is average of the 3 voltages. So then is differential configuration, the next topic. So in the differential configuration it is used as a subtractor, so which is shown here, the op-amp, it is used as a subtractor. So here we are using both terminals, that is inverting as well as non-inverting input terminal. So which the output is evaluated as the difference in the two inputs. Okay, so here we are writing, let the input applied at the positive terminal be VB. So we will write it as Vout is equal to VB minus VA into gain. Here if all the resistances are same, here we have considered all resistances values are equal. So therefore we are writing Vout is equal to VB minus VA, right? So next thing is so if we write the expression RF by R1 in the subtractor, here the RF value is R and R1 value is also R. So we are writing RF by R1 into V1 minus V2. So here minus RF by R1 into V1 is VA minus V2 is VB. So if this negative sign if we take inside, it is just Vout is equal to VB minus VA. So next thing is summing amplifier. So this is what we discussed, that is subtractor. For a subtractor we are feeding input at the both terminals so that we are getting a difference in voltage. So next is the summing amplifier. So here in the summing amplifier, so we are design the circuit like this. So input amplifier is constructed using a basic differential amplifier with again two additional input to that of the one we used as in the in case of subtractor. Here we are using two more inputs. Here all the resistances values are made as equal to same, that is equal to R. So therefore just modifying the circuit, when it is modified using superposition theorem. So first case we are applying only VA is acting alone, VB, VC, VD are connected to ground. So hence the circuit will be reduced like this. So these resistances are not used since they are connected to ground. So this is also grounded. So Vout is nothing but this is now as good as our inverting op amp. So we know that our inverting op amp output is RF by R1 into Vn. Here RF and R1 values are R itself. So we'll write minus of R by R into VA, right? So R cancel. So we are getting V output due to first source, that is VA is nothing but VOA is nothing but minus of VA. Similarly output due to the VB alone, we can write it as when this is connected to ground terminal and when VB is acting alone, then VOB can be written as minus VB. So then this inverting inputs are grounded, then non-inverting inputs are activated. So let us consider when only that is VA, VB, VD are set to 0 in the circuit, and it becomes a non-inverting amplifier in which V1 of the inverting input is given as, so V1, that is voltage that is applying near this terminal, is given as voltage divider rule, right? Because other two resistances are connected to ground, only one resistance is acting. So therefore other two resistance parallel equivalent is R by 2. So we'll write R by 2 divided by total resistance R plus R by 2 into the total voltage applied VC. So if we take the LCM, it will reduce to VC divided by 3. So similarly when VC is acting alone, so we'll write 1 plus R divided by R by R2 into V1, so which is equal to, if we simplify, that is VC. If VOC is VC, then VOD is also equal to VD. So then by applying superposition theorem, so when all sources are acting at a time, so we'll add all these outputs, that is minus VA, minus VB, plus VC and plus VD, right? So the output expression is now this, so which is nothing but our summing amplifier circuit. So it will just does the algebraic sum of the inputs that are applied. So V out is the algebraic sum of the inputs that are applied. So next comes the output voltage equation that can be obtained that is instrumentation amplifier using the transducer. So this diagram is about the instrumentation amplifier using transducer. So here we are this is the circuit. So here we are using the 3 op-amp circuits. Okay, so here it is acting as a non-inverting. So this amplifier A2 is also acting as a non-inverting, as we are giving input voltages to non-inverting terminal. Whereas the third stage is just a differential amplifier. So it will take the difference between these two input voltages and given it to the output. So here is the meter indicator, right? So here we have connected a resistances in this fashion, right? So here this is a thermally sensitive resistor, right? So its value changes when there is a temperature variation. So that's why it is called as a instrumentation amplifier. If any temperature variation is recorded, then the output voltage is indicated in this indicating meter, right? So this diagram shows the simplified differential instrumentation amplifier using the transducer bridge. A resistive transducer whose resistance changes as function of some physical energy is connected in one arm of the bridge with a small circle around it, and it is denoted by RT plus or minus delta R, where RT is the resistance of the transducer and delta R is the change in the resistance. For the balanced bridge of the same reference condition, so we will say VB is equal. For the bridge to be balanced, so we can say that VA equal to VB. So observe the circuit. So here this is the terminal A, this is the terminal B. When the this bridge circuit is in balanced condition, then voltage at this node and voltage at this node are same, right? So that is VA is equal to VB. So then we will write what is VA, RB divided by RB plus RC into this VDC, whereas VA is nothing but RA divided by RA plus RT divided by into VDC. So here we will write the same thing, VB equal to VA, and what is VB? So it is RB divided by RB plus RC into VDC, whereas VA is RA divided by RA plus RT into VDC. So if we simplify this expression, we will end up with RC by RB is equal to RT by RA. This is the condition for bridge to be in balanced condition. That is RC by RB is equal to RT by RC by RB is equal to RT divided by RA. So that is when the bridge is in balanced condition, that is there is no temperature changes. So if there is no temperature changes, then this thermally sensitive resistor is not changing its resistance value. Temperature dependent resistor is not changing its value. Okay, so here RT is a resistance of the transducer. So here RT is the resistance of the transducer that we have connected. So generally this resistance RA, RB and RC are selected so that they are equal in value to the transducer resistance, that is RT, at some reference condition. Therefore, according to the voltage divider rule, so we can say that VA is nothing but same. We have written VA is nothing but RA into VDC divided by RA plus, instead of RT, if the temperature due to the temperature there is a change in a resistance, so we will write it as RT. Instead of writing only RT, we will write it as RT plus delta R. So similarly for VB, so here we wrote VB is equal to RB into VDC divided by RB plus RC. The same equation we are retaining here. Consequently, the voltage VAB across the output terminal of the bridge is written as VAB is equal to VA minus VB. So here VA is nothing but RA into VDC divided by RA plus RT plus RA into VDC divided by RA plus RT plus delta R minus, so this expression, minus VB, this expression. So if all resistance value RA, RB, RC, RT and is equal to same, then we will end up with this expression RAB as delta R into VDC divided by 2 times the 2R plus delta R. So here the negative sign is in the equation. So here we have a negative sign in the equation indicates that VA is less than VB because of the increase in the value of delta R. So the output voltage is given by VAB into minus RF by R1 into minus RF by R1. So if we substitute minus RF by R1 into this expression, so then we approximate this to the output voltage if delta 2 plus delta R is equal to 2R. So we can write it as 2 into 2R, that is 4R, right? So it is RF by R1 into delta R divided by 4R into VDC. So this equation indicates that Vout is directly proportional to the change in the resistance value, that is delta R of the transducer. So thermistors are essentially semiconductors that behave as a resistors, usually with a negative temperature coefficient of the resistance. As the temperature of the thermistor increases, its resistance decreases. So in the several applications of the thermistors, this kind of a device are temperature indicator and temperature controller, light intensity meter, measurement of flow and thermal conductivity, analog V scale. So this is all about instrumentation amplifier using transducer bridge. So this circuit is very important. This is the transducer bridge. So here we will now discuss about the comparator circuit. So this is the comparator circuit. So simple operational amplifier. So here we are giving the two voltages need to be compared. So V1 voltage we treat it as a V reference, whereas V2 voltage we will treat it as a Vin. So reference voltage usually here 1 volt is taken. So now what is this output voltage, right? So here this comparator we can also call it as a sine to square wave converter. So here the output voltage, when Vin voltage, this Vin voltage is less than the reference voltage, then output is drawn to negative of the Vsat. Okay, this is the output expression. When Vin is less than V reference, then the output is minus Vsat. Similarly, when the Vin is greater than V reference, then the output voltage is plus Vsat. Okay, so this is the diagram which shows the output of this particular device. So here in this example, that is V reference value is positive. Here the V reference value, when it is taken as negative, so this is the output expression which is that is output waveform which is drawn here, that is the comparator output. If you look at the expression, if Vin is less than V reference, then Vout is equal to minus Vsat, or it is almost equal to minus VE. If Vin is greater than V reference, then Vout is equal to plus Vsat, or it is equal to plus Vc. So therefore the Vout changes from one saturation level to another saturation level when Vin is equal to V reference. So when with this Vin is equal to V reference, then it will move from one saturation level to the another saturation level. So comparator is a type of analog to digital converter. Here it's sinusoidal is analog input, whereas this is a pulsating form which can be represented as 0 and 1. So we can say it as an analog to digital converter. As well as the comparator is sometimes also called as voltage level detector, because for desired value of the V reference, the voltage level of the input V in can be detected. And here in the circuit we are connecting the two devices D1 and D2. What is its significance? D1 and D2 protect the op-amp from the damage due to excessive input, that is V in. So if V in is very excess, okay, so that is stabilized by these diodes, that is D1 and D2. So because the diodes, the difference in the input voltage VID of the op-amp is clamped to either 0.7 or minus 0.7, hence the diodes are called as clamped circuits. The op-amp with built-in protector does not require this clamped diodes. So if the op-amp is having built-in protection, then we don't require these clamped diodes to connect in the circuit. Then the resistance R in series with the V in is used to limit the current through these diodes, that is D1 and D2. Here the R, which is connected in series with these diodes, are to limit the diode currents. To reduce the offset problems, the resistance ROM is equal to R is connected between the negative and Vref, that is negative terminal and Vref we are connecting, so that is our ROM. So here the V reference between negative with respect to ground and the sinusoidal applied is positive input, then the output waveform is shown in the figure C. Okay, so this diagram is the condition which when the V reference value is negative. So when V in is greater than Vref, as we discussed earlier, V out is plus V sat. When V in is less than Vref, then the V out is minus V sat. Okay. So the circuit A shows inverting comparator in which the reference of the voltage V reference is applied to positive input. So V in is applied to negative input. So here the comparator is the positive terminal, it is V in is applied, or negative reference, negative terminal, the V reference is applied. So thus the V reference desired amplitude and polarity can be obtained by simply adjusting 10 kilo ohm potentiometer. So here we have the potentiometer. So it will act as a wiper which will move toward minus VEE when V reference will become more negative, or it is moved to plus VCC when V reference become more positive. So it will move towards VCC or VEE. So it will move towards VCC or VEE depend on the V reference value. So when V reference become more negative, it will move towards minus VE. When V reference become more positive, it will move towards plus VCC. So thus the V reference of the desired amplitude and polarity can be obtained by simply adjusting the 10 kilo ohm potentiometer. So next we discuss about the zero crossing detector. So zero crossing detector or a sine wave to square wave converter is an application of comparator. So zero crossing detector, the other name is sine wave to square wave converter. So we gave sine wave as the input and we get square wave as the output. So figure shows the zero crossing detector provided that V reference is set to 0 volts. So figure 2.20 and 2.2a and 23a, 22a are used as a zero crossing detector. So this diagram as well as this diagram is a zero crossing detector. Here it is a inverting input, whereas here also it is a inverting input only. So here whatever the inverting comparator circuit, the same can be taken here. So here the output will change only at the zero crossing. So whenever the input changes from positive to negative, so at that value the output square waveform will also change. So figure 2.4a shows that inverting comparator used as a zero crossing detector. The output Vout waveform in the circuit shows that whenever in what direction of the input signal Vin crosses the 0 volts. In all these diagram we can see that whenever the input crosses the 0 volts, then the output voltage is changing. It is fluctuate between the plus Vsat and the minus Vsat. So next is the Schmitt trigger. This is all about a zero crossing detector, right? So it is a simplified diagram of a zero crossing detector and its output waveform. So here negative terminal we are applying the Vin, whereas the positive is grounded, right? So for a positive signal we are getting negative. Why? Because we are applying to the negative terminal. So whenever the zero crossing is there, it will change its level from negative to positive. Here again zero crossing, so when it is positive it will change it to negative value. So then is a Schmitt trigger. So the next diagram 2.5a shows the inverting comparator with positive feedback. So it converts an irregular shaped waveform to a square wave or a pulse. So this is the circuit diagram. So irregular sinusoidal wave is converted into a square pulse. So with this circuit we refer it as a Schmitt trigger. So here we are applying to the negative terminal or input voltage. Here the resistance, this is the output voltage. So Vin triggers the output every time it exceeds the certain voltage level called the upper threshold voltage and the lower threshold voltage as shown in the figure. So here it is the in this waveform. So this value, you can see the dotted lines above the ground level. This is the value of voltage which is set to upper threshold level, which is 25 millivolts, whereas the peak of the sinusoidal signal is 0.5 volts. So 25 millivolts is our upper threshold voltage, whereas minus 25 millivolts plus 25 millivolts is our upper threshold voltage, minus 25 millivolts is our lower threshold voltage. And here it is a square waveform, okay, plus 14 volts and minus 14 volts. So here is the hysteresis graph which is showing the output versus input, Vin versus Vout of this waveforms, okay. So here is the hysteresis voltage, we will get it on x-axis, that is this value is VLT and this value is VUT, that is lower threshold voltage is given here, upper threshold voltage is given here. So in the circuit A, the threshold voltage are obtained by using a voltage divider. So it is given by using a voltage divider R1 R2, whereas the voltage across the R1 is fed back to the input. Voltage across the R1 is fed back to the input. When Vout is equal to Vsat, the voltage across R1 is called upper threshold voltage, VOT. So voltage across the R1 is called upper threshold voltage, VUT. So when Vin is less than VUT, then Vout is set at plus Vsat, or we can say that VUT is equal to R1 divided by R1 plus R2 into plus Vsat. Similarly, when Vin is greater than lower threshold voltage, when Vin is less than lower threshold voltage, then the output is drawn to plus Vsat. When Vin is greater than lower threshold voltage, then the output is drawn to minus Vsat, so which is given as VLT is equal to R1 divided by R1 plus R2 into minus Vsat. So figure B, that is a waveform, shows the Schmitt trigger is a square waveform when the input is a sinusoidal wave. So this one, okay, when the value is crosses this lower threshold voltage which is greater than this, then it will change in this direction. When it is greater than greater than upper threshold voltage, it is like this. When it is greater than lower threshold voltage, so then it will changes in its direction. Comparator with positive feedback is said to exhibit a hysteresis and a dead band condition, that is when the input of the comparator exceeds VOT, its output switches from plus Vsat to minus Vsat and reveals back to its original state. So plus Vsat, when the input goes below VLT, hysteresis voltage is given by V hysteresis is equal to VOT minus VLT, upper threshold minus lower threshold, whereas upper threshold is given by this expression. We are substituting. In both expression, R1 divided by R1 plus R2 is common, so we will write plus Vsat minus of minus Vsat, so which is equal to this, that is 2 times the Vsat into R1 divided by R1 plus R2. So with this we'll finish this, that is op-amp, finish this chapter, that is op-amp with negative feedback and general applications. Thank you.